Hey guys, welcome. This is Mark, Crypto Boy in Oz. It's Monday. It's the 26th of July, I think. It is. 10 p.m. And it's been one hell of a day. Like one hell of a day. In crypto, it has gone mental. It's hard not to get carried away. It's really hard not to get carried away. If you're new to the channel, this is what my page looks like. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, smash the like button for one and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you on board. We've got 27 subs, all genuine subs. Not asked for no family members to join. Actually, I think my brother has joined, but I didn't ask him. He just did it on his own accord. But he is into crypto, so that's okay. If he watches my videos or not, I do not know. He's never mentioned them, so what's that tell you? He either doesn't think a lot of them, and he's just being polite by not mentioning them, or he doesn't watch them, and I think it's the latter, to be perfectly honest. But if he did watch them, I'd hope he'd enjoy them. Anyway, look at that. Look at that. I mean, this is a 4-hour candle. 4-hour candle. So it went up 34,000, and it went all the way up to just under 40k, and look how it just touched that trend line perfectly. Like, look at that, literally from there, that point, both of them exact on the end of the wicks, touched all three to perfection. And then it dropped back down, so it wasn't there for long. You might have been able to catch it for an hour or so maybe, and then it just kind of come back down to 38,000. But that is the most movement that we've had in a single day for, I think, 5, 6, 7 weeks, somewhere around that point. It's not moved so much at all for 6 weeks or something like that. It's pretty unbelievable. And if you look at my previous trend line here, so at this point, and then this point here, and it broke the trend line, retested the trend line perfectly, like bang on it, and then that was it. This was yesterday, and it shot up from 32,000 up to like 33.8, and then, I mean, 2 days from 32,000 to 40,000. No, it has retraced a little bit, and now it's going sideways for the last, I don't know, for the last 12 hours or so. It's kind of just been hovering around that sideways position. Now, I'm curious to see now what's actually going to happen. Like, is it gonna spike up? Is it gonna go above the 41k mark? Because let's get an horizontal line here. But if you look here, like, boom, there. Oh, why did that go there? So if we look there, that's 42. Does it need to go to 42? Maybe, yeah, that support there, that previous high, the previous high, 41. So I reckon if tomorrow or the next day we get above that, and we finish on a daily candle above 41,000, then I think the low of 28.9 or whatever it was, 29,000, I think that was the low, because like it shot up so much. I think we just need to get to that point. If we get to that point, maybe you can kind of think, okay, we're going back into a bull market. We've kind of left this kind of sideways movement, which has lasted for like 3 months, and we're onward and upward to better things, higher prices, and maybe fundamentals will start meaning something now, and all the FUD, all the rubbish that you hear, will fall on deaf ears pretty much, and we're not going to take too much notice of it. But there's no promises. There's no promises, because if you look, I gotta zoom in a bit. I just want to get this volume. I want to get this volume showing. Now, if you look here, Like on that big candle, like the one that actually went off this morning or last night, or whatever part of the world you're in, it had massive volume, so it really pumped. But if you look at it now, the volume has kind of been coming down and down and down. And if you look at the stock RSI, we're kind of like oversold here. So it's not been. I mean, it were going sideways for a bit, but like if you look at it, it looks like it's going to be coming down according to the stock RSI. If you're on the 1 hour, it's looking better on the 1 hour. So over the next 3, 4, 5 hours, we're probably just going to keep going sideways here. Because if you look there, it's on the 1 hour chart, it was over 80, and then it started coming down and down and down. But if you look at the actual chart itself, it hasn't come down. It's just gone sideways, and if anything, it might be up slightly on where it was. So probably worth keeping an eye on that. But the gains have been awesome. But don't forget, like everyone gets excited, like everybody gets excited. But unless you're only getting in now, you're down. Like there's no beating around the bush. I mean, if you got in, like, well, from what I'm saying is from all-time highs, regardless of when you got in. If you got in like last year and you went up to all your all-time highs, or you got in at some point January, February, March, April, May, basically if you got in any time other than like a week ago, you've either got in really low last year and gone up to all-time highs, and then obviously the price has dropped massively, or you got in from January, February onwards, which you might have been breaking even if you were kind of early January, and then you have had a price increase. But for most people, you've experienced the highs, and if you'd have took some profits, you'd have probably been all right. But most people have obviously rode the wave back down to like 29,000 Bitcoin. And as good as this pump is, we're still down. So, okay, get it. Like puts a smile on your face, and you might think, oh yeah, we're back on track, we're back on a bull run, but the volume is still nothing. I mean, if you look at this, right? This is on the 1 hour chart, and if you look at these three pumps over 3 hours, it went from 34,000 right up to 40,000, and you had this massive candle. This massive volume here, then another. Well, you had a compared to what was before it was pretty decent size volume. Then you had this one, and then you had this big one, and this kind of suggests to me there was a big whale, there was a big purchase of Bitcoin. Big purchase of Bitcoin. Could that be Amazon? I'll get to that in a minute. But then since then, it's just kind of plateaued. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Was it like some people in the know that knew this big buy were coming, so they kind of got in first? Because obviously a lot of people are in cahoots. So did they get in first just to front run it and get in before to get a good deal, and then this big whale has come in and bought big amount? But then if you look at the volume, I mean, apart from like after that, there was that one bit of volume there where it shot up, but then the volume's kind of really died down again. It's nowhere near what it was. So it's hard to get excited because it could come down just as quick as it went up. Like if this come down now, it's like a Bart Simpson ad on the 1 hour chart. So, I mean, obviously we don't want that, but I'm just saying, a big buyer could easily send this straight back down again. Back down to like 34. I mean, it could go back down to like 29, but we'll just see what plays out. I mean, I hope it doesn't. Don't want it going down because it's had a bit of a run now and it's been going sideways for too long. So hopefully break the 41k, finish above that on a daily, and that would be awesome. In fact, I'm just going to look at the daily because Don't often look at it. And look at that. I mean, that's a monster dare. That is a monster dare. I mean, if you look at all this sideways action, so from the 18th of May up until the 28th of July, so 2 months, and it's almost got all that loss from here, 42k, where it really dropped. It's kind of regained almost all of it. Now, obviously, you go back further, and it was like way up here, like 59k, 65k. So it's going to take a while. If we are going bullish, I don't think it's going to shoot back up like overnight. I mean, who knows? But I don't think it will. I don't think it'll shoot back up here. I think this could take weeks if we are back on the bullish map to recovery, if that's what you want to call it. Now, if you look at this fear and greed, the fear and greed chart, we're still in the pink. In the pink, it's between what 20 what's that, about 27. But I think this is a bit delayed. I think it's like 24 hours behind. So I suspect this will be different tomorrow. I suspect this will probably around 50 tomorrow. But then we'll just have to see what happens, because it could easily. I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but it could easily come back down. It's too early to get excited, because it's literally like 2 days, 2 days of price action, pretty much. Well, I mean, it's been bullish for like all week, really, but it's this last couple of days where it shot up from like 34 to where it was. And then if we look on the daily, it does look like it's oversold, that it's going to be coming back down again. But we'll just have to wait and see and see. So onto the heat maps, which I love looking at, and yeah, much red is there? I mean, Theta is the only one that's red. I mean, everything else is looking sweet as, really, isn't it? I mean, look at it. Look at AMP 44%. And I think that's on the back of BitBoy talking about AMP, because there's a possibility it could be used as like a provider with Amazon, but who knows? Well, BitBoy does claim he's got very, very good contacts, and in all honesty, he has come through on a few of the things he's been saying. Like he was saying that Bitcoin is going to have a big recovery towards the end of July, and he's pretty much nailed it. He's pretty much got it bang on. So I think some of the sources he does have are pretty reliable. I mean, at 38k, I mean, who'd have thought literally Bitcoin at 38k when what day is it? 21st of July, it was 29. Like what? 5 days? Yeah, 5 days ago. 5 days ago. It's gone up 10 grand in 5 days. So he's caught that pretty good. I mean, Ethereum's like almost 2.4. I mean, look at the percentages. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum up 30% for the week. Polkadot up 28% for the week. Uniswap 27. Uniswap could be in some hot water though, because they've delisted. Well, the Uniswap, like the AMA, if you go on Uniswap website and you use it to exchange coins, it's that they've removed some of the coins, which kind of, considering it's a decentralized exchange, and that just proves it's more centralized than one might imagine. And I think I can imagine that could affect the price of Uniswap. Now, obviously, it's going to take a bit of digesting by a lot of people to realise that that's what Uniswap have done, because not everyone will know straight away, and sometimes it can take a few days before you get a knock-on effect. Currently, it's doing well. It's up 27% for the week, 1973. But so there could be a negative impact on that, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure. But I could just see it coming where the price does drop on it for a little bit. So this is the big story. I think BitBoy, I tell you, he's on it, isn't he? Little Ben Armstrong. Who'd have thought? He's got all these contacts now that people are coming to him and telling him shit. I think he said this a couple of days back. So basically, an anonymous source within Amazon has reportedly told London business newspaper City AM that the e-commerce giant is planning to start accepting Bitcoin. Now, I don't know if you realise how big this is, but Amazon is the biggest e-commerce platform in the world. I think the stats are 45% of all. This is in the US. 45% of all online sales across all marketplaces and all websites are done on Amazon. 45%. So almost half of every online transaction is Amazon. That is mental. And Amazon is just as big in the UK. It's massive, absolutely massive in Germany. It's growing rapidly here in Australia. I reckon it's still another 5 years away, though, before it's anything like the UK. And it's just expanding. And the thought that, like in America, you've got like 330 million people that can now pay with Bitcoin. So it's as if they're kind of jumping in headfirst, like being at the forefront and getting into this right at the beginning, without too much of delay. I'll just read this to you. So, they're looking to start accepting Bitcoin payments by the end of 2021, possibly setting the stage for broader mainstream acceptance of crypto transactions. So this is only just being announced now, and they're talking about being active possibly by the end of 21, where you can pay with crypto. Now, I presume Bitcoin, but I presume it's going to be multiple different payment methods, because obviously Bitcoin, in all honesty, as a payment method, people don't want to pay with Bitcoin. People want to hodl it, because you don't want to buy I don't know, a Fire Stick with Bitcoin, and then in 10 years' time it's cost you like $100,000 for a Fire Stick. Well, maybe not so much, but like something that's cost you like $100 now, in 10 years' time, that Fire Stick could have cost you like $10,000. So I think it's probably crypto in general, Bitcoin obviously being the main one, but I'm sure they're going to accept more payments. So we read further. This isn't just going through the motions to set up cryptocurrency payment solutions at some point in the future. This is a full-on, well-discussed, integrated part of the future mechanism of how Amazon will work. Amazon, not Amazon. The source told City AM, according to a report published on Sunday. So the entire project is pretty much ready to roll. In addition to accepting Bitcoin payments, Amazon is said to be exploring the creation of its own cryptocurrency, possibly as early as 2022. Speculation about Amazon's entry into the cryptocurrency market has been raging for days after a new posting for digital currency and blockchain product leads appeared on the company's job board last week. I mean, that's bullish in itself, isn't it? They're not hiding it. They're not making it cryptic and saying they want to, I don't know, they're looking for payment solution specialists, and you got to dig deep to see it. They're actually purposely advertising for digital currency and blockchain product leads, which is kind of just coming out and saying, listen, we're going into crypto and we ain't messing about. And for something like this, it's got to be coming from the top, like Jeff Bezos or maybe the new CEO. Someone high up has got to be instigating this for something that isn't just being talked about. It's really happening. So yeah, it's pretty bullish indeed. What do you guys think? I mean, I can't really over like estimate how big this is. It doesn't get any bigger than Amazon, and it makes you wonder. That's why I was just looking at this big pump here, like the price. Like sorry, I'm just checking how long I've been recording for, because I'm coming up to 20 minutes. And it's 20 minutes, and I want to keep it as short as possible so people can watch it without thinking it's too long. What I was thinking here, like, was this an Amazon purchase? Now, I know some companies like MicroStrategy, when they make a purchase, and like Kathy Woods from ARK Invest, they actually publish on Twitter and say they've invested in this, they've bought so much Bitcoin, because it's public knowledge. Every quarter they've got to release what they've been investing in. It's just that some companies kind of make it public knowledge and let you know straight away, whereas others wait for the quarterly reports to come out, and you've got to dig into them and have a good look. It'd be good if Amazon did purchase, if they actually come out and said it, because, geez, I mean, the price of Bitcoin. I mean, this is what crypto needed. If this is 100% certain that this report is 100% accurate, and Amazon are going big into crypto, and they've got to accept Bitcoin. I mean, and they're developing probably going to develop their own wallet. And I think that's where there was like some kind of, I think BitBoy Crypto, Ben, was talking about AMP, possibly integrating with, or being used to integrate into Amazon's payment system, because I think how AMP works, it clears funds really quickly. Like, obviously Bitcoin, because there's a bit of a delay, I think AMP is like a kind of clearing payment method. May not be explaining that perfectly, because I've not really done massive research into it, but it has boomed. But then, is that because Ben kind of mentioned it and he's got 1 million subscribers? So quite possibly people ape into it, because the aping on things a lot less. So anyway, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I'll just mention quickly: Tether executives are facing bank fraud, and this is just more FUD. It's just like CoinDesk, Cointelegraph. I mean, they're run by conglomerates that are just kind of control the media which comes out of crypto in and out. And I mean, as much as this may be true, it isn't going to do anything to the price of Bitcoin. It isn't going to make a damn bit of difference. Even if Tether isn't backed one for one, which we know it's not. It's not like USDC is backed dollar for dollar, like with physical cash or physical money in the bank. We know Tether is like, they probably leveraged some stuff, got bonds and what have you. But it's been around forever. There's not really been any scandals come out of Tether. It's just always been on like the forefront of people's mind that maybe it's not backed dollar for dollar. But it doesn't matter. I mean, even if they got a fine and they got slapped on the wrist, it'd take years and years and years for Tether to disappear. And there's plenty of the stable coins about, and USDC is just gonna rule anyhow. I mean, over time that'll be the dominant force. But then you've got others. There's TUSD, DAI, BUSD. There's plenty to go through. So anyway, I'll not keep any more of your time. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure. We're keeping it. It's almost 25 minutes. Like the channel. If you like the channel, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with your friends. Remember, invest well. Like, really invest well. Don't invest in no shit coins. And remember, what I always say, there's a crypto boy in all of you. Even you girls.